Hello everybody, Keith here again. Today I want to do a number of repots. This is the first one. It's a no ID Phal hybrid. It's been in this pot since the 17th of February 22, so as it's now the middle of December 23, it's very nearly 2 years. The roots on the top look a bit strange. It's got a long root there. I don't know how bad the bark's on its way. So I'm hoping that the ones I want to do today will be reasonably quick, so I can put them all in one video, hopefully, but perhaps not. We've seen some mealies on the amaryllis. Pity. Okay. Kind of explains why it's not doing terribly well. We have got a number of good roots. We've got a number of not so clever roots as well. So I don't need to do too much with it. Looks like most of the dead ones have simply dropped off, but if I can do something with these, got some nice long ones. So I reckon if I see that one's not ever so good, let's just take the end off that one. Take that back to there. That's firm to there. So yes, I've done the usual trick of not actually doing it soon enough, which is so easy to do, isn't it? So very straightforward. I'm going to give it a soak in some rainwater to get the last of these bits off. I'm going to give it a spray with some gunge. I don't think there's any active mealybugs on this one, but I'm not really sure. So let's grab some water. Spanish moss falling down. I've got the only air plant I can grow is Spanish moss. I've tried other air plants, they don't do terribly well for me. But when it comes to where that's come from, you can go straight back in the same pot. I don't think it's a problem. Right, doesn't need anything particularly different. But yeah, I've got a few things I want to do today, and I'm hoping that even if I can do it in several little sections, we can have a good look. So you can see with that there's quite a lot of good stuff that's greening up nicely. Some that's not, but they're still firm, so I'm not going to start chopping bits off that feel okay. Somebody once said, oh, you know, if you repot it, I think it was a cymbidium, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, I've got loads and loads of roots, don't worry about it, just hack them off, they'll be fine. No, they weren't. They were not at all. So, yeah, I think that will do quite nice. Put it back in there temporarily. As I've said before, I find that having a little bit of water just helps get the last few bits off without damaging the roots any further. So, oh yes, I was going to give it a spray, wasn't I? This is SB Plant Invigorator. It's fundamentally a soapy solution that does the wee beastie's surface coatings no good at all, and it is proving quite effective. It's not like a systemic. It's quite the opposite. It's a purely natural thing. It's contact, so if you hit them with it, that's great. But the fact that if you don't hit them with it, then it doesn't actually do any good. This is typical Phal. It's not going to take a huge amount of putting back, but that's got all those roots down into the pot. They're not floating around the top. I don't know why I've left it this long, really. I shouldn't have done. I've been doing this long enough now to know that if roots aren't going down into the bark, there's usually a reason for it. But it is putting out a new root. There's a nub of a new root just showing. So if I pop this up now round the top, that is that one done. So the only thing left with that one, apart from running some water through it, is to change the date on here. And it is now the 10th of December. 10, 12, 23, or 12, 10, 23 if you're American. Strange people we aren't. Everyone's got a structure in his teeth, in his teeth, so I can pop my own tongue, thank you very much. I don't need to do that specifically for anybody. Right. That's one done. Okay, the next one. This is Phalaenopsis equestris. It's sort of again been in this bark since the 17th of February 22. I clearly had another day of doing things. I'm debating what to do with that cakey. I've got another cake I took off which has only got one root, like that one. It hasn't thrived very well, so I genuinely don't know what to do with that, but there's another one coming as well, so I'm sure it doesn't need both. But apparently that is very typical of equestris. It almost invariably puts a cakey out when yeah, this is the same. It's staying wet. Now yeah, that is staying wet. We've got some poor roots. There's a piece of the stem has died. There's a root quite high up that's died, which is not what I wanted to see. So let's have a look and see if I can do anything with this lot. Again, it isn't wonderful, but it's not bad. I think I had a bad batch of bark that time, but plants that I seem to have repotted around February 22, the bark is rotting quite well, early, I suppose you could say. It certainly hasn't given me 2 years, and I've had others out of the same batch that are doing it. So yes, I've trimmed a bit more off this one. We've again got some little white beasts. I don't know whether they're alive or dead. Dead. I just use a paintbrush, and if they'll come away without any effort, then the little deers are dead. But you can't do a lot with mealies except keep at them. They that's got not quite. There's another piece there got to come off. Anyway. Right, that's got everything off. I think the roots are, well, as much as matters, I think. The roots are pretty decent. What do I do with that? Let's get my paintbrush again. Yes, I don't think we've got a problem with mealies, but it's not a systemic. I have to keep spraying everything with that now. Do I pot that up a little bit? It must go a little bit taller, I think. But I think I'm going to if that goes down, that old flower spike is going to be buried. So whether I like it or not, that is going to have to come off. That one can stay. It's nowhere near developed enough yet. But yes, it's I don't need anything any bigger diameter. I want something a little bit deeper. Yeah, I think that'll do. This is a very similar size, these two, but this one's a little bit deeper, so I can accommodate all these roots without too much, and they'll fill it quite nicely. That one I may try to pinch me cinnamon. I might even stick that in the same pot. Let's see what they can do. Right, so the usual trick, exactly the same as before. A little bit of bark in the very bottom in the hope of crocking it. If I put that in there, this in there, and basically just add, well, I'm putting them together because, as I said, I put another, well, it's actually the third cakey I've taken off this one, because every time it flowers it produces a cakey at the end of the spike. But I've got the last one that I did. The first one grew more root, and it did really nicely, and I passed it on to a friend and she loves it. It's doing well. I must ask her how she's still got it, whether it's survived, because she grows, the ordinary supermarket Phalaenopsis quite well. She's not an enthusiast, but she just likes orchids, and but she keeps those and she reblooms them, so I thought, why not give her something a little bit different. Actually, she'd done me a bit of a favour. So, but I remember when I was talking about buying this from Burnham's, I was actually down at the nursery. We were on holiday a few years ago on our motorbike, so I couldn't carry anything away with me, and I was sort of, oh, that's rather nice, I know what to do with that. And Sarah said, oh, it's, stick it on the windowsill. And I went, you what? She said, oh yeah. You don't need anything any different to any other Phalaenopsis, just treat it exactly the same and it'll do all right. Well, the main plant does. So again, that's Phalaenopsis equestris. I hope that'll give it a bit of a boost. It should do, because that bark was definitely past its sell-by date. So that's those two. Yeah, that's just run some water through it, and that's ready to go back on the windowsill. Yeah. Now then, this is the Cattleya that I bought from Spiciotic Plants recently. It's Cattleya Cosmic Delite, Delite. Got a lovely little flower on it, but the flower's over. I don't know how long it's been in here, but the roots are all the way down to the bottom. I'm not even sure what kind of mixture it's in, so that's something else we need to have a look at. Well, it's mostly bark. There is, oh dear, there's a lot of lovely roots on this. Really good roots on that. But look here. I am not looking forward to trying to circle that lot out, because I don't suppose the roots in there are going to be ha'porth of good. I knew there was moss in there, which I thought was a bit strange for a Cattleya. But this unfortunately has not had the moss plug taken out from when it was a baby. So I'll get my two little stainless tools and try and get it so you can see, because as you've probably seen by a recent video about repotting a twinkle, it's very, very easy to end up with a dead space underneath a plant. And this is what I think we've got here, that you can pour water over it and it goes past, but ultimately things like old moss, they don't, it goes through a phase where when you first put it on, in my experience, and I am not an expert as you all know, I blunder along, and if it works that's great. If it doesn't, I've usually got no idea why. I've usually got no idea why it works either, but never mind. But using a tool like this, you can furcle away at it and ease all the old crud out, because I really want to be able to see where we're at. I mean, the moss, as I was saying, in my experience, you can, it'll start off and it'll hold a tremendous amount of water, and you've got to be careful that you don't end up drowning it. But then you can just, when it gets older, it doesn't hydrate the same, and trying to make sure you can see what I'm doing, just trimming any roots that are showing signs of being papery. Not very clever, taking it back to where the roots feel reasonably solid. If they're not very clever all the way back, I'll take it off so far. Some of them are just a bit horrible, not very strong. But these are much older roots off the back of the plant, so I don't think there's a lot of goodness coming up through those. As you'll have seen, I don't like whacking roots off for no very good reason, but I don't like to leave I don't like to leave plants that are roots that are really on the way. I don't like to leave those around too much either. But sometimes you've got to leave some just to give it some kind of stability. But I think with this, we've got some really, really good roots on here. So long as I can get them off, get this rubbish off without too much effort. Fish these out again. There's a piece of bark that's actually not even floating anymore. You've got to be very, very gentle when you're doing this. I suppose that's teaching most of you to suck eggs, as the old British saying has it. Teaching grandma to suck eggs, in other words, telling people stuff they already know. Where it comes from, I have no idea. But yes, you. That's a curiosity. I'm going to have to cut it off, but just before I do, you can see we've got a bit here where the velamin's completely gone, and yet further on down we've got a perfectly good branching root. So do I leave it on? I mean, the answer is no, because as I try to repot that, good as that root might have been lower down, I don't think it would have survived long enough to have, if I put the bark in. I'm not going to put any moss in it. If this is a typical Cattleya, it's going to want to dry out. Oh, drat, I've just broken a root. It isn't going to want to be left damp too long. But oh, that's a shame. Never mind. We've got a lot of good, there's some good roots on there. We haven't got any new growths yet, but I think that'll be a lot better off. I mean, I'm going to treat it like any other Cattleya. I'm going to use no, it'll be too small. I'm going to use this ordinary sort of medium-sized bark. It's around about 10 millimeters, just under ½ an inch in old money. So I'm not sure where the direction of growth is. I think it's this way. So I'll try and push it towards the pot that way if I can. Never find that desperately easy, but let's see if I can manage it. Usually end up with it sitting where it wants rather than where I want. Oh, crunch, crunch, crunch. It still makes me wince, even though I know full well that it's the bark, not the roots, because the roots don't crunch. But no, I think, especially as all the new roots had gone into the stuff outside the moss plug, so yes, I think that's not too bad at that. So that's 3 quick repots. Thank you for watching. It's been an interesting one. It's a little bit different, all very quick. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've got a couple more that I want to do, but I'm pleased I've got all that lot done. It's nice to know where you stand. So thank you for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.